Hey guys, what's up? It's Deprimido. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm here in FL Studio and I'm going to be showing you this lo-fi beat that I made, and I'm just going to be running through the patterns, running through the effects and stuff like that. So starting off right here with this main melody, it's very simple. I started off with a guitar, but then I switched it to this sound. So this is what it sounds like, and I'm going to turn all the effects off to start. Very simple. Then I made a small counter melody right here using Octane, and it's very simple, just this. Very pleasant sounding, very simple, and I don't think I did not put any effects on that. Next I did this pad out of Expand. It's very bright. And I just layered that main melody. Those are the only three melodic elements that I used. Next I did this hi-hat right here. So you can see I worked with the velocities a lot. I turned some of them down, turned some of them way down, and that's just basically to give it bounce and to make it a little bit more interesting. So pretty simple as well. Lo-fi beats are usually always pretty simple. Then I did two different claps. This is the first one. And this is the second one. And then I just did a kick drum. And those are all of the patterns that I did. So now we can get into some of the effects. So on the pad right here, I just did a fruity parametric EQ, cut the highs a little bit, cut the lows a little bit, and you can hear the difference a little bit. So starting off, this is without the EQ. So it's a pretty small difference, but it just makes it a little bit more focused and just a little bit, I don't know, more better sounding. So next with this counter melody, I didn't do any effects with the main melody. I put an isotope vinyl. I put the dust all the way up. Well, not all the way up, but I gave it some dust and turned that up pretty high. I gave it one scratch, turned that up a little bit, and then I gave it a little bit of warmth. And I also turned it back to 1980, just to give it a little bit more of a vintage feel. But I am gonna have that turned off for now, so that we don't have the dust running in the background the whole time, because that gets very annoying. Next on this hi-hat, I think what I did was pretty cool. So I gave it a Valhalla Supermassive, turned the delay all the way, I guess that would be down, but I turned it to 1/64th. I turned the warp all the way up, and I turned the density up a little bit, and that just makes it sound like this compared to this. So a lot more of an interesting sound, a lot less dry. On this clap, I just gave it a small EQ. I cut the highs a little bit, so you can hear that. So pretty big difference there. And then I didn't put anything on the second clap or on the bass drum. So those are all of the effects. Pretty simple as well. Pretty generic stuff for lo-fi. Then I also added in a few cymbals, so you can hear those right here. Added that one, and then I added this reverse cymbal just as a riser, and those are just for the transitions right here. So going into the layout, it's pretty simple. I started off with the main melody for the intro, then for the second bar of intro I added the counter melody as well. Then going into the hook, You can see we've got my tag right there, and then in the hook we go into we put in the drums. So I put in the claps and the hi-hat, and I took out the counter melody, so it's just the main melody. Then in the second bar of the hook I added in the counter melody and I added the pad in. The drums are the same. Then on the last clap the hi-hat cuts, and you can see we've got these cymbals right here, one going up and one actually hitting. Then we added the kick in, and you can hear the difference is pretty big. It just hits a lot harder. So you can hear it sounds a lot better with the kick. It's just more interesting. Then coming into the verse, I took out everything but the but the main melody. Sorry, put in the claps for the first one, and then halfway through I added in the hi-hat. Again, we have the cymbals right there, and then we go into the same hook, except for I put the pad on the first one as well instead of just the second one through the fourth one. And then I just took this part, I brought it over to right here, so I just doubled it over, and then we have a little outro, which is just the main melody and the counter melody, and I stretched the end of this pattern out so that we have a little bit of space at the end. Right there. So yeah, that's pretty much the entire beat. Pretty simple, as usual. Lo-fi beats are usually pretty simple, as well as trap beats. You know, most beats are pretty simple. It's kind of the goal of a beat, if you want an artist to be on it, is to keep it simple so that they have room to rap on it or sing on it or whatever they're gonna do. So thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you all in the next one.